screens going here, so
sorry, let me hit that record button so we don't forget.
So do you have the ability to scroll through the you don't have that ability, do you, Brooke?
I mean, I could request to control your screen while you're sharing, but no, I don't actually. That's all right. I'm watching everybody in the room. So what, you ready to get started, Tim?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. So, well, welcome to today's session, where we're going to discuss building financially sound real estate businesses. You know, it's a difference of being a self-employed person or being a business owner, and that's what we want to teach you today. Some of you have been in this call already and hearing to the banter between Brooke and myself, and hopefully all of you know Brooke, because that's a name that you need to keep on speed dial. You need to know the bald Brooke, the one with the glasses, but most of all, you just need to know Brook Silva. She is amazing and has brought a level to this region that has been non-existent for a long time. So thank you, Brooke, and she's going to be my partner today. My name is Tim Shea. I'm a team leader here at Keller Williams Evolution in Beverly, Massachusetts. I've been in real estate since 2005. I started actually in real estate, coming from a corporate finance and business development background. We had a business where I built a sales division in an e-commerce platform. And I partnered with our operating principal because I wanted to get into real estate to learn from somebody who crossed their T's and dotted their I's. And that I did. I've worked on development teams. I've been our tech director here. I've been our trainer here. Because at KW, you'll start to understand in here that it's all about coming from contribution. And the roadmap of opportunity in front of you at Keller Williams is immense, not only from building your personal wealth through real estate investing, but just from growth in general. You want to learn to teach, you want to learn to be a trainer, you want to learn more about technology, maybe you want to move up in the opportunity roadmap that is KW. The world is your oyster, but our main focus is to really teach you how to have sound financial real estate businesses, and that's what we're going to talk about today, the financial basics of it.
And you know what's funny, Tim, is this is something that is often overlooked at the market center level and not, it's an accident, right? Because we get you in, we onboard you, you got your license. They taught you everything you needed to know when you got your license, right? About real estate.
Right, of course, right?
Right? But some of the smallest things get overlooked in the beginning. Something as simple as, do you have a separate checking and savings? Business one. Something as simple and small as that can really change taxes and different things. So I love financial basics because it's also hard to remember that we don't all come from small business or business backgrounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of our friends in this group have never had a business card, have had to have business meetings where you sit down in a conference room, or how about book a conference room at the market center? Some of these things we take for granted every day because we just do them because we've been in the ecosystem for a while. So there are no dumb questions in this financial basics. We're not asking you to open your bank accounts and show us what you're doing, but we want you to get really inquisitive because let me tell you, be prescriptive and be thoughtful about your finances before it becomes a problem. Because yes, there are resources to help you when things go wrong, but don't get to that point. Be smart. This is one of those places where we want to help you grow, invest, and have, big lives funded by what we do here. But we can't do that if you're not open and honest with yourself about finances and making sure that you are putting away for taxes and that different things, you're setting yourself up correctly. So, and I hate numbers, just so you know, and I've talked about it on other classes. My learning disability is a complete number block, but we have so many fun tools to make the financials easy. And what you don't ever hear me say fun and math together until it comes to these things with your business. So keep an open mind today. So before we jump in, I'm always curious to know, what have you implemented? Like we do ahas, right? We always do ahas, but I want to know what you implemented immediately in Ignite that has stuck with you through each class and you're doing. I can see the social media posts, But Roberto, go ahead. I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I've immediately implemented a 10 contact a day and the 10 conversations about real estate with my sphere of
10-4,
influence.
good buddy.
Done 4.
That's right, 10-4. That's right.
Excellent. Oh, I love to hear that. And thank you for doing your accountability form. I've seen it every Ignite session, and I can see there are some days where it's, like it's not going to be a perfect 10 every day, but man, just doing that and holding yourself accountable, huge. That's a huge habit.
It's a big, exactly. It's a change of habit, and that's and by now, I mean, it's what 3-4 weeks now. It's becoming natural. Even the actual nature of the conversations are no longer forced, because the script that I've used 3 weeks ago, it's now no longer a script. It feels more like it's part of the conversation. It's part of what I say. That's pretty much it.
And you're getting vocal on your social media. I follow you on social media. You follow me.
Yep.
You're doing the things.
I'm trying. I'm
doing the
building.
things.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm building. Like I remember what you said on first day. It's like, the drip campaign. It's like the consistency, the little bit every day. But so long that it's every day, you cannot miss a day. Absolutely cannot miss a day.
It's called a drip campaign because it's water torture. It's waterboarding, right? Like it's the constant, don't forget, I'm here, right? And remember to sprinkle in your personality, because you do have such a fun personality. You all do. We're all going to have these different things, but you're doing great.
Thank you.
All right, who else? Let's do one more. What have you implemented into your business immediately from Ignite and you're going to stick with it? And if you can turn your cameras on, please do so. We love to see your faces.
Just going to go into that, Brookie.
I would not walk into an empty classroom and teach, just so you know. Like, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. So we love to see your faces. Go ahead. Who was that? I'm sorry. Was it Janet?
Hi. Yeah. Hi. It's such a small thing, but it's made such a big difference, is time blocking. Just being more disciplined about my calendar, and because I am from a corporate background, but many, many years ago, I'm fresh off of a 20-year stint as a stay-at-home mom. So there's no I don't know.
There's no routine. There's no routine. Now you're building your routine. Time blocking will save you. I am a ADHD brain, and my calendar tells me where to go next.
Yeah, it has been incredibly helpful.
If it's not in there, it doesn't exist, right?
Exactly. And are you time blocking lead gen time, marketing time?
Yeah, so just really, from getting up in the morning, although these sessions have taken up the mornings, but taking a certain amount of time each day for lead gen, a certain amount of time to kind of communicate with lead gen, but the hot sheet, we're kind of, and then practicing all of the stuff in DocuSign and, practicing putting in offers. And so at first it was just a blur.
And it's so funny because in another month, you'll be like, why did I worry about those things? I got this. So wonderful.
You know what the hours are for Keller Williams lead gen time? It should automatically be in your calendar. Anybody know what they are?
3 hours.
9 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Should be in every market center calendar, lead gen time, and nothing gets blocked unless it's truly important. But
like this class with me and Tim.
Like this class, exactly. If it's lead generating or learning activities, but we at our market center try not to put anything in that time. And so my calendar starts at 8. My daily calendar starts at 8 o'clock. It goes from 8 to 8:15, where I come in and I check my emails. 8:15 to 8:30. There's some daily motivation emails, daily motivation. So I'll look at something to motivate me, because if you come into the office or you come into work and you're already down, what's the day gonna kind of look like? So get yourself in a positive mind frame. 8:30, we have a staff huddle. 9 to 11 is lead gen time, and then I schedule my appointments after that. I have a working lunch that goes through, and it's in the calendar. I'm not going to beat myself up if sometimes I have to overbook things, But if it's not in the calendar, and then that's slowly going to start to fall a little bit away from my reach. So make sure it's in there. And one thing you guys should do is you should through us or through a schedule that I think works for you, but utilizing our models, is put those things in and put them on repeat Monday through Friday. So they're in there that you see them every single day. And Roberto, part of my job as a team leader, again, I've been in real estate and I've been a part of it. Script practices, no matter what role you're in, are things that are going to make you more comfortable in those environments, because you need to know how to handle objections. You need to be able to go ahead and fluidly walk around conversations. So 2 great examples. All right, Brookie, do you think that there's anybody that needs to know who you are that's on this call?
I will introduce myself again. So my name is Brook Silva. I'm your regional technology trainer, which is the weirdest title because I do so much more than tech. Tech is just the fun tool I get to play with to help you guys build bigger businesses. At the end of the day, I am actually a business consultant. So my job is to just get you the education you need and the training to make your lives easier so you can do those things like lead gen. And I did put all my links to my info. I'll put them again so you can follow me. I post motivational stuff, weird things, updates, funny things on all of my different platforms. So if you're not on one, find me on the other. And then I also put in a link to the Command app resource on my page. Always check out my website. I've got all kinds of weird, fun things on there, like a lead gen calculator that tells you how many people you have to add per day if you want to sell this many homes in a year. The other thing is I put out all my smart plans out there to make it easier for you to do lead gen, because my goal at the end of the day is that you pick up your phone, you look at the Command app, and your 3 hours are taken up because you have all those lead gen tasks queued up and ready to go. Because let me tell you, when my husband first got into real estate, I wish I'd been able to hand him his phone and say, here's the people you need to call, honey. Call them, make money. Here you go. Make relationships. It didn't exist back then. It does now. So utilize the tools that are no extra cost to you to make your life easier, and it logs activities. So I'm excited to be here with you and Tim today, and you are not rid of me. You are stuck with me on Mondays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. each day for the growth call or tech training. This week is Stump the MCTTs and RTTs. So make sure you log on and try to confuse me and make it so I can't answer your question.
If you want to send me a private message, I'll send you some questions. We can try and stump her, but we might be up against a battle. That's for sure.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into it.
Brooke mentioned that she doesn't walk into an empty classroom. So I'm going to ask everybody within the respect of kindness here to turn your cameras on, participate in this class. Thank you to those that are. Those that are not, I'm going to be picking on you. Don't worry about it. You'll be hearing me call on you if you're not on camera. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate that. That's all good.
Yeah, I don't care if you got a man bun that's hanging sideways. I don't, or no bun. Like,
yep.
There we go.
There we go. It's all good. Thank you.
But
very
if you're
much.
driving, no, thank you. Just stay where you are. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So let's get moving on this. Anybody care to share what they're grateful for today in this new journey that you're on with Ignite in real estate? There's so many opportunities that are in front of you. Anybody care to speak up about what they're grateful for?
I will.
Yeah, Diamond.
Sorry, I'm not on video, but today's only my second day in training. I got my license and things last Thursday, so I'm just getting started, and I'm very grateful for this program. I'm grateful to have found it. I found it yesterday. I stumbled across it, and I'm so happy about it. So more than anything, I am grateful for what I learned in just an hour and a half yesterday. So I'm excited to see what I learned today.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Anybody else? You'll kind of see that a constant theme is starting with leading with gratitude. Leading with gratitude and everything, it sets the pace for it. Some of the conversations, you may automatically have a knee-jerk reaction and kind of be a pessimist, maybe, if that kind of falls into the realm that you might find yourself, whatever. But I will tell you, change the way that you look at things, and the things you look at change. Remember that. All right. So remember to always look about that. Anybody else care to share what they're grateful for?
I'll go real quick.
Julia, go ahead. You were saying something.
Where's Julia? Oh, you're muted,
Get off
friend.
muted.
Here's
I
a
was
wicked
just reading
simple
the chat.
trick.
It says, I have teenagers and a toddler. She mean?
Yeah, you can't scare me.
Right?
She mean?
Mean.
I'm just grateful that every time I half attend Ignite, I learn something new. So it's just it's great having a lot of different perspectives and a lot of experience each time, even though like the general outline is the same. You know, I pop in and out to Ignite and it's only been a year for me. It's like, it's never the same way twice. And it's just great getting all the experience throughout New England.
Awesome.
Even if they're mean or not. She mean.
She mean.
Anybody got a 5-year-old little girl? They are mean. Yeah, they're right. They are mean and truthful. You got the littlest piece of facial hair. Ma, why you got a beard? Can't wait someday. Can't wait. Can't wait. Maybe I want the beard.
Yeah. I got a 14-year-old son who hates his dad right now because, oh, Dad, come on, and a 12-year-old. Oh, Dad. Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, I appreciate you all sharing. Let's move on here. Here a second. All right. So today our focus is going to be on making offers on behalf of your clients. And we want to talk about what successful agents do and teach you the habits to build financially sound businesses. So we're going to be employing techniques and models used by most successful real estate agents for managing how each commission check is handled. So what do successful agents do every single day? They either grow their business or they run their business. And I always love to kind of give this example. I'm going to stop sharing here for a second. Who here has seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Everybody, right?
Oh,
This
yeah.
is coming from the perspective of an agent, all right? And we can all get carried away with all of the bells and whistles that come with our real estate business. And hopefully you're getting involved in this because you know it's a business, not that you've now got your real estate license and you're looking up to the sky to see the money falling out of it, because that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen in real estate. It's work you have to put in. Do those opportunities sometimes fall from the sky? Absolutely. And we're gracious for those opportunities. But the key to this is focusing on our one thing. And our one thing really is kind of a two-part thing. It's growing your business and running your business. So it's managing your database and continuing to add to this. And I make the Willy Wonka comparison because somehow the notion is that all these ingredients got into that Willy Wonka machine. It clunks, it spits, it shakes, and out the bottom come these golden wrapped candy bars. Well, the Wonka machine that you guys have access to, credit to Keller Williams being innovative and leaders in the industry, is Command. And this is where Brook is very, very heavily involved amongst many other areas, teaching you the applicability of Command and how to leverage it to run your business. There's two things that I do every single day. I log into my KW email supported by Gmail, and I get all of the host of apps because of that. And I log in a Command and everything I need to do. So our Wonka machine is Command. And you want to go ahead and start to run your business. So if everybody here is new, one of the things you should be doing right now is compiling a spreadsheet of everybody that's in your world, putting them on that one spreadsheet, first name, last name, email address, telephone number, anything that you can find. And those sources for me revolved around my sphere of influence, my kids' school parents, my LinkedIn contacts. Shocking, you can export your LinkedIn contacts, any other potential boards that you may have, my business to business network. I'm a musician, so is my musician friends, and I'm sure all of us have habits out there or pastimes or things that we do. I think when I talk to a lot of agents, they don't even realize the scope of the world that's around them because they think so microscopically. Oh, well, did I speak real estate with this person? No. Your goal is to get anybody and everybody that's in your world, pour that as the ingredients into your Wonka machine to start and run your business. And then how do you feed it on a regular basis? Well, you add to it on a regular basis by doing some of the things that Roberto mentions in the 10-4 that we're going to talk about. We add more to the database. We run campaigns, we host events, we do all these wonderful things. So when we talk about growing our business, what successful agents do every day, and hopefully that sticks with you, that Wonka analogy sticks with you, because read The One Thing. The One Thing book talks about what we need to focus on as real estate agents. It's nurturing our current database and adding to it on a regular basis so that we have more opportunities that come out the backside of that, like golden wrapped candy bars that say, hey, Roberto, thanks so much for sending us information for the last 6 months. I think it's time for you to come and talk to my wife and I about selling our property. Hey, Roberto, I'm interested in buying a house. Hey, Roberto, I'm interested. Hey, Roberto. And that's our job. It's to support it as well. But also we'll talk a little bit more about it, how we can run it so that we're leveraging off as much as we can so that our activities are really geared around that one thing and generating more leads. All right. So what do successful, let me pull this back up again. And Brooke, your screen didn't cut out, so we saw the love shared between your husband and you, and it was just beautiful.
Oh, thanks. So for those I share all the time, but he's a medic and a full-time student at physician's assistant school. So sometimes I don't see him for 3-4 days with our schedule. So
sounds like he's got a very, very busy schedule and in an admirable field as well.
He's okay. I'll keep him.
Ah, there you go. So what do successful agents do every day? They grow their business by focusing on what kind of activities? Well, they lead generate for buyers and sellers, and we can have conversations about what that looks like. They make seller listing presentations. They make buyer presentations and get listings, and they preview real estate. Roberto, does this sound a little familiar? Sounds a little bit like maybe a 10-4 to some degree. We'll talk about a 10-4 too, because we try to kind of frame everything so that it's easy to remember and do. And then they run their business. They market seller listings. They show buyer houses. They negotiate contracts. They transaction management to closing. So from the time you get an offer accepted all the way to contract to close. And even before then, they vendor manage. They set goals. That's a constant thing you're going to hear and probably have heard is that it's about goal settings. Goal setting. Without goal setting, what are you shooting for? Well, there's an opportunity to arise, right? But if you know what you're shooting for, then you have actionable tasks that you can achieve along that path. They focus on compliance and risk management. They attend training and get coaching, and they manage their money. And that's the goal of our time together today. All right. So think back to the classes you took to become a licensed real estate agent. And do you guys remember learning how to handle your finances as an agent while studying for your license? Anybody remember that? Did they focus on any of that? No? Okay. So for the most part, the answer to this question is a flat no. I know it's been a long time since I've been in that pre-licensing class, but I do know that one of the things that people like Brooke and I say is get through that pre-licensing, and almost all of that stuff you learn, you're never going to use in the course of a regular real estate business. And today we're going to dive into practices that can put you in a place to ensure you have financially sound a business and can fund your big life. Because at KW, it's more than just, being a real estate agent. It's being able to fund that big why. And hopefully all of you are thinking about, what is the big why in your life? Is it our children? Is it our retirement? Is it to help others? Is it to be philanthropic? Think about what that big why is. So Keller Williams is known for models and systems in technology. So naturally, KW offers powerful tools driven by technology to help you pursue personal and business goals. Use the proven models and tools of the Millionaire Real Estate. Who here has heard of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent? Everybody? All right. If your hand didn't,
I'm actually in the Millionaire Real Estate team out of the Portsmouth office.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. What team is that out of Portsmouth?
No, literally, we're called MREA team.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
that's their actual
awesome.
team name.
That's their
That's our
actual
team.
team name. I didn't know there was one out of there named that. Well, Samuel, I hope they walk the walk and talk the talk. And I know that market center very well. I'm sure they're following the MREA to a T, right? Almost,
Yeah,
right?
it's actually pretty close. It's funny because when you're saying, well, they didn't teach you things about your financial stuff, actually with walking us through the CGI and all the rest of the stuff, they have started to lead us down the right knowledge path and get us thinking along. You've got to set aside stuff for taxes and you've got to make sure you keep track of your expenses. So yeah, it's at least a heads up sort of thing.
But this is the team that you're on. You're part of. Yeah. We're talking about, pre-licensing stuff, but that is great that you're on that team, because you know what you'll start to find if you have a long career in real estate is that you're going to be talked to by other. You start to produce, then that's the radar that goes up to other brokerages. Oh, I've got to reach out to Samuel, see if he wants to come over and join us, and let's wave some shiny objects Samuel's way and see if he'll want to come over. The MREA is the blueprint that almost every single brokerage uses to run a successful business. And that's not a lie. We have independent brokerages that use that model. We have even large scale brokerages that are brokerages, that use that. So aren't you lucky enough to work in partnership with the company that wrote the blueprint on how to run a successful real estate business? That and some of its other training, Ignite being one of them, Bold being another one of those staple trainings. Jump into those. All right. So we're going to have you use those proven models and systems in the Millionaire Real Estate Agents to be able to build your team, get your team to the 7th level, and then consider potential expansion. Expansion is a great opportunity if you haven't even heard of it, to take your team and expand it. So built into the ecosphere of KW is just a wealth of opportunity. And it's up to you to go ahead and drive yourself there. And that's the biggest key. You're all independent contractors. You all have the ability to take your business wherever you go. Our job is to provide you the roadmap, the tools, the pit stops, maybe a shorter cut to get there, not in a bad way, but just, to provide you the roadmap. Well, we can't drive the car for you as much as we're trying to do that. It's entirely up to you. So remember that. All right. So read through the habits you see here on page 3 of your participant guide. Hopefully you all have that up. And why do you think these habits are important? So take a second to go ahead and read through these. All right. Right. So we're going to say set a profit goal that funds your big life and pursue the activities to achieve it. 2, estimate, save for, and pay your taxes on time. And we're going to talk about this in a second and the mistake that I made, and hopefully you don't befall the same. Number 3, use the proven models and systems of the MREA chart of accounts. 4, be fiscally savvy by reviewing your financials monthly. 5, pay yourself a salary. It is so enticing to get your first paycheck and go, I just got a 7th. I've never seen a paycheck worth this much in my life, right? What am I gonna buy right now, Brooke, right?
They all go out and buy or put money on a BMW or, hair, makeup, shoes, wardrobe. Like, people go nuts with their first commission check. Yeah, hair plugs, whatever you need. I know.
Samuel and I are going to get along great.
Yeah. No, but they don't set aside, because you just see the money come in. And most of us are so used to getting a paycheck where Social Security, federal taxes, withholding, health insurance, all these things are itemized, and we don't even have to think about it, because on our little tax form, when we became an employee, we filled out how much we want them to withhold. Well, that's not how it works when you own your own business.
Yep.
So that's not all your money. When it comes in, when that 7,000, like Tim said, as a number hits your bank account, that is not 7,000 little green pieces of paper you get to put in your pocket or under your mattress. Shouldn't put it under your mattress.
No, should put it above your mattress under your pillow. That's what we're going to teach you today. Wait, I didn't say that, did I? No. We're going to teach you how you reallocate some of that money today. And so the last one on that list here is 6, prepare now for a financially secure future. And, again, why do we think that these are important habits? Well, basically because many agents, confuse income with profit. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. They don't save for and pay taxes on time. They don't make use of the powerful tools available to them. They get caught in that moment. They don't understand their financials and just wing it, which unfortunately so many of us do, even though we're given the blueprints right there to have a successful real estate business. They don't plan for a regular monthly salary, and they're not preparing now for their financial security. And I think that that's the biggest thing we see. It's a live in the moment type of a thing. But those agents that are successful, there are some commonalities that they all share. One is they're running their business like a true business. They are not self-employed. And the difference between those two is that a self-employed is you're working for your money. And as a business owner, your money is working for you. And there's a subtle difference, but it's a very large difference when you get into the minutia of it. So be a business owner, really run a responsible business so that you're not trying to live that paycheck to paycheck. It's a scary, daunting thought to go to be an independent contractor, as all of you have chosen to do. Why not set yourself up for success in the best possible way? So we're not going to have time to go through every single habit in detail today, but we'll certainly make sure we cover the fundamentals so you get off to the right foot with your business. All right. Money is good for the good it can do. What is the purpose of a business? Anybody? Bueller? Anyone? Anybody care to jump on that limb? Go ahead, Julia.
I'm gonna guess. Hello. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna provide goods and services.
Okay, sure. Yep, absolutely. I'm looking for something else specific. Anyone? Along that same line, what are we talking about today? What are we here to talk about?
Make money.
Absolutely. So what is that? What does that translate to? Profit, right? We want to, hold on, my screen just got wicked dark. All right. So profit, that's what it is. Money is good for the good it can do. And the purpose of a business is to create a profit. That's ultimately the one thing it boils down to. And with profit, you have the money to do good for your family and your community. So when you set your goals, you become keenly aware of how many transactions you need to close to reach your financial goals. And this is the money that you'll use to fund your big life to do good. So today we'll be talking about financially sound business practices that you can incorporate into your businesses from the start with every transaction you close. This begins with understanding how the money you make from each transaction can contribute to a financially sound or a financially unsound business. All right. So now we're going to review 2 scenarios here on page 4 of your participant guide. These scenarios represent a transaction closed by a solo agent, Jessica Campbell, where she closes on a home and her share of the commission is $9,000. So now let me ask you all, is a $9,000 commission check that she receives profit or income in revenue?
Revenue.
Okay, right? It is. Yep. Just waiting to see if anybody else wanted to jump in. It's income in revenue. That's correct. So the profit is what's left over to fund your business, your taxes, and your personal lifestyle. And it's important to know the difference between income and profit. So what do you use profit for? Now you can take a second on page 5 to review some of those scenarios that are there. I want to take a second to have you take a look at your participant guide, page 5. Anybody care to take a look at that and tell me which scenario is financially sound?
The second one, no?
Yep. Who said that? Roberto?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Scenario 2. And why
Yeah.
is it financially sound?
Well, I mean, first, it really breaks out the the way that she actually deposits the commission into, you know, an account that has a holding, if you will, for tax purposes, as you have just mentioned it. And also, actually, it says in the first scenario, it says she deposits it in her personal bank account to pay for personal credit card debt and household expenses. So that in itself, it's a way to show that she's not accounting for what else should actually come out of that revenue line.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. It looks like she's in the second one paying herself as an employee from her business bank account.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, and in this scenario, Jessica is actually saving 40% of her income for taxes. This might be a little bit of a high number, but it's best to check with the CPA to determine the rate at which you should save for taxes. And I will say to anybody that's getting into real estate new, and unless you're a CPA to begin with, and have not used the services of a CPA, now is the time to get yourself in a relationship with one. There are just too many deductions, itemizations that are inherently built into our structure as independent contractors for you not to take advantage of. And unless you're a CPA, you're not going to know what those are. So get yourself in a relationship with the CPA. There's a good probability that there's a lot of write-offs, expenses, deductions, and things that will be a benefit to you as you move forward. So most agents receive little or no guidance on how to handle their first or really any commission check and end up in scenario 1 with no money left over to pay their taxes and a life that they still need to fund. So the financially business sound example is this one here. First transaction. Let me just, my screen is out of here. So one transaction, $9,000 commission check, $57.60 is a net payment check, $24.19 in her pocket, expenses and taxes accounted for, right? And this is what we're aiming for with this class, for you to understand and embrace a smart model that grows your business, pays your taxes, funds your life. Now, I got into that in my first year. I was fortunate enough. I got involved in real estate and I bit the bullet. I didn't start part-time, although it was very intriguing to go ahead and keep my career going in finance while trying to edge into real estate. I just jumped in to the cold water, very little on, and started to kind of paddle and was able to get into productivity. But I'll tell you, it was purposeful. I did get mentored, like I said, with our OP, joined a great team and got off to a great start. What I did not do is each transaction, because I jumped in and I was devoid of that consistent pay, I took all of that commission that I got because I needed it. I needed it, and I convinced myself that I needed it. So I did not reallocate taxes. Even if you're taking 30%. So if you get a $9,000 commission check, you're talking approximately $3,000 to just reallocate to the side, approximately, right? Put that into a separate bank account. Learn to pay your quarterly taxes. Your CPA will guesstimate as you start to move forward year to year what you will need based on your previous year's income and revenue. So I suffered that for many years because I ended up having an incredibly hefty debt with the IRS, and the IRS is not lenient. They are not lenient. You might be able to find a payment schedule, but there's no way in this current market to get a hold of them. They're going to bill you no matter what. They're going to be coming and looking for their money. So be smart about it. Reallocate those taxes. Don't get caught with the big number in that check and say, oh, I want all that 9,000, rather than, you know what? 5,000 would actually do well, or 3,000. So keep in mind as you progress through this, as enticing as it may be, you need to reallocate those taxes. All right. So building on financially sound business examples we just reviewed, let's take a look at some models presented in the Millionaire Real Estate Agents. And I'm going to turn this over to our presenter, Samuel, now, who is part of the, I'm just kidding, Samuel. I kid, right? Being a part of the MREA team. You're learning it. You got me on that one. I really like that, right? All right. The MREA, you go ahead, Samuel.
And I think we have currently, it's all, of course, brand new agents. We're only in for a certain number of transactions. And it's like the absolute boot camp of like, hey guys, we know you don't know anything. Why don't we set you up and get you pushed forward? So they assist with anything you need at the beginning, and you eventually taper down on what you get. It's really cool.
So is the goal for you to slowly get off that MREA team?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're actually pushing us to become our own independents towards the end of it, and not necessarily join a team, although that's certainly open for it. Yeah, they've got us branding ourselves, kind of individually, and yeah, it's a good. They want us to go all the way through.
Yeah, we have that built into our ecosphere too, and I think you're going to find a lot of market centers. So that works in tandem with your productivity division up there as well, right? Yeah, perfect, awesome. Well, that is the model to learn. That is how I learned with our owner, who crossed those T's and dotted those I's. And it's been since 2005. So you're bound to have a successful and long career if you understand those principles right from the get-go. So Samuel, I intend to see you many years from now in the real estate world. So the MREA percentages seen here come from studies and best practices of hundreds of top agents. The percentages are important because they help you evaluate the health of your business. Now, the idea is to drive 40% to the bottom line, a huge margin compared to any business. Here, we've given you an example of a $10,000 commission check to help you visualize the economic model. So to see a detailed breakdown of this model, it's going to be on the page 157 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And I will say, as we're talking about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, if you read it once, you're defeating its purpose. You need to read this thing and make it mental memory. Brooke, I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'll tell you that I've already read it 12 times.
Hold on, I've got my, I'll tell you, because I put a notch, like I tick it off in the back of my book every time. So 5, 6, 7. My other book was 13 before it fell apart, and this one I'm on 8.
8, yeah.
8 for this book.
For this book, just this book, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, the big red book.
Big red book. So here's what I'm going to suggest to each of you. All right. After this class, if you're not currently reading it, I want you to get it, talk to somebody in your market center, get it, and put it on your list to read. If not, go to Audible and download it on Audible and start listening to it. Take 10 minutes out of your day. Even if it's in your drive in, make sure you're starting your day in a productive way that gets you moving in the right direction. Turn on a motivational video. So here's what you do. We all have, I drive my daughter, and my wife goes the other way with my son. But in the morning, I will get in at 8 o'clock, turn on that video, motivate myself. Last couple of days, it's been a little bit of Kobe Bryant, but then there's another guy that motivates me. And then I read, I listen while I'm doing my morning tasks. Start that habit, start with the right habits, okay? So we're giving you an example, and that's on page 157 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. What do you think of this model? Does a 40% of your income feel like a reasonable percentage to have left for profit? What are your thoughts on that? So we've got a gross commission income, 100%. That's income. Your cost of sales, and we're going to talk about that. Operating expenses, 30% for cost of sales, 30% for operating expenses. That leaves you with 40% profit income.
Hey, Tim, there's a great question in the chat. So they asked in the model, why are the taxes not included in this? So those are part of your expenses.
Mhm.
The cost of doing business. So they don't break it out specifically in this snapshot, but what is in the Ignite Drive, your toolkit, there's a chart of accounts if you enjoy spreadsheets and seeing how everything should be broken out cost of sales wise. There's a full chart of accounts in there for you. So you can see how they even break out like taxes on equipment, insurance, automobile, everything. It's all broken out in there. I'll also drop it here so you can snag it. But yeah, it's part of the cost of sales and operating expenses, depending on what the taxes are for.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely falls definitely falls down into that operating expense. And Brooke, did you just drop that in there?
I did, and it is also in the Ignite Drive under student resources in the toolkit, so it's in there.
So utilize that chart of accounts. I mean, that is probably a little bit of a Bible that you should keep handy. And now all of us, if we're KW agents, if you're not starting to format your folders and everything on the Google Drive that you get 30 gigabytes plus of storage on to run a truly cloud-based business, should start to segment your folders, drop this into an MREA folder for yourself, okay?
Yeah, and break it down by those chart of accounts, have the different folders. I handed my accountant this year access to my Google Drive and my mileage like printout, and he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I was organized last year. Here you go. Here's everything.
Yep.
So
Mileage IQ, if you're not using an app, there's a few other things out there.
I'll put my favorite in, and we get a discount through Command. I'll put my favorite app out there.
So in this example, you got a $10,000 commission, you got cost of sale is 3,000, operating is 3,000, and then profit is 4,000. Okay. So the key here is to lead with revenue, and that's the focus, not expenses. So when you start out in real estate, you may need to spend a little money to get started. And in this day and age, with the advent of everything that is out there digitally and technology wise, and more important, you're working in partnership with a company that has led the way with technology as it relates to the full-fledged platform, the full circle of experience that is Command, where there is nothing, in theory, absolutely nothing you need to do to step outside of this platform and Command to run your business. And in fact, Brooke and I and other people like ourselves are on a mission to have conversations with agents, team leaders, people who have run their business in their own direction for years and spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of money subscribing to third-party services, how they can eliminate those expenditures. It's called remargining. And it's enlightening to see how much they can actually shift away from subscribing to those third-party services and do the exact same thing for free within Command. Okay. But it's the key to it is to also be financially sound businesses, to only spend money that's been generated by your business. It shouldn't cost much to generate buyer and seller leads if you're working your database every day, like we've talked about. Our goal in Ignite is to help you realize that by keeping your costs low and working your database, you can generate a tremendous amount of business for very little time. And we're going to talk about one thing that Roberto mentioned at the end and how key that 10-4 is. But one of the constant themes that I hear from agents who have been in the business for a long time, when I say, well, what do you do for lead gen? What are you doing? They're like, I don't lead gen. I work my database. 10 of my deals last year came from my database and people that they knew. So your database is your biggest resource. And don't sit there and go, oh, well, I've only got 50. You got 50. I only got 100. You got 100. That's great to start with. Start building on it. And I guarantee if you have a conversation with Brooke or myself, who we're always going to be available if you have any questions, by the way, we'll put our information in the chat. Guarantee you, we could have a private conversation and we'll be able to scratch the surface on many other resources that you have built into your ecosphere that leads are a part of. LinkedIn, cell phone, Facebook contacts, family, habits, hobbies, all these things. There's many things. Church, temple, wherever it is that you go. All right. Where are we here? Ooh, did I freeze up? Nope, I'm not frozen.
You're
So
good.
now I'm good. I thought I was frozen here. I so badly wanted to break into Elsa Brooke. I didn't.
Tim, you got to let that go.
Let it go.
No.
Let it go.
I
Oh,
live in that world. That and Encanto.
know.
Okay, that was unnecessary and uncalled for. Thank
I
you.
apologize. Look, my mother said, Tim, you're so blessed. You can do so many things well, but do me a favor, just don't sing. So unfortunately, I sing all the time.
So do I. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
I am actually
All right, flow of money and not our voices.
I am in a rock band and I sing at every opportunity, believe it or not. All right. So now that we have the key percentages of the economic model, let's review the flow of your money in real estate business. All right. So what is the goal of your real estate business? We already asked this. Anybody remember that answer?
Make
Make a
profit.
profit.
Profit, exactly. So what formula is currently used to calculate the profit of your business? It's right there in front of you. Bueller, come on, not the same people. Julia, I know you're reaching for that mouse to unmute it. Go ahead. What is that? What does it say?
You're still muted. There you go.
Economic model.
Right, but what is it? What is the formula commonly used to calculate profit in your business? It's right there. Blank minus blank equals profit.
Income minus expenses.
Yes. Awesome. All right, perfect. So while the formula to calculate profit is important, it's not the model we use to set and track our profit goals. Each month, each quarter, each year, instead we ask ourselves to follow a strategic questions. And these questions can be found on page 7 of your participant guide. I'm going to read these 3 questions here for you. All right. How much money do you want in my bank account? How much money do I want in my bank account at the end of the year? Okay, so what's your goal? How many homes do I need to sell to achieve my goal, my profit goal? Because this is where we turn goals into action, and we repeat this activity so that it's attainable on a daily basis. And how can I minimize my expenses to maximize my net income? We have any questions about the flow of money as it's seen in this model? No? All right. So income in your real estate business can really only come from a select number of sources, right? Mainly listing income, sale income, referral income, leasing income. I know the first 2, listing income and sales income, are probably understood by all, but does anybody know what referral income is?
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
And hey, Brooke, why would it be your favorite?
Because my husband, who we know has 2 jobs, is also an agent, and we only do referrals, and we still get income every month from referrals we send out all over the United States.
And it's because it's passive, right? Very minimal effort for a lot of reward.
It's so good. And it's like, I feel like sometimes kind of like, am I really getting, did we just really get a deposit for doing like
Nothing.
what I think is the bare minimum? And it's because we're so automated in his business, but he is actually working hard on his referral network, and he is talking and he is doing lead gen, but you can't be licensed in every state. You can try. I would not want that licensing fees or board dues. There is no national realtor. Like, you don't get one license for every state. That would be scary. But I love referral income. Oh, do I love it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm sure that you might say you are, but I don't know if you understand the depth and scope of what's available to you here at KW. You get to build a business worth owning, a life worth living, and you get to take that anywhere you want it to go. The support, the resources, the availability for you to build that, unlike any other company will provide support, is there. Okay. That's what you work in every day. You work in this business. However, you have another passive income stream that's automatically built into the KW ecosphere, and it's profit share, because every market center shares its profits with our agents. And in essence, if you don't know about profit share, you need to learn more about it. Talk to me, talk to Brooke. But it's the profit share is the company's way to reward other agents who introduce other agents to the company. And then we work in tandem with you to get them into your downline. And this is really as simple as, hey, somebody sees Roberto or Julie or Janet or Samuel are in real estate, and they reach out to you and they say, hey, Samuel, I see that you're in real estate. You know, I've been thinking about doing this. What do you think? And you know what to say, but then you take that candidate and you refer them to the team leader so that the team leader does all of that heavy lifting. And all of you did was pass that potential candidate, either new or experienced. And when that person signs on board, they're going to be asked who was the person that was most influential. And because I work in tandem with you, or each team leader is supposed to, we're going to have them go into your downline. And so the more people in that downline, the more that tree grows, the more passive income on a regular basis. And now with our new command app for us as agents, we can just log into the front page of it and see how much is getting deposited into our account every single month. And I'm not lying to you when I say this. Agents who A, know how to have that conversation, B, maybe run campaigns within commands built into the ecosphere that you have available to you, or maybe drop an advertisement hiring for real estate agents on LinkedIn or Indeed. And some even go as far as having a recruiting website. Let me tell you right now, we have a source that we can create a recruit website for every single one of our agents, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it. So check with your market center. Those people who invest an hour a week into marketing that separate passive income, on average $1,000 to $3,000 a month, some $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and many, many others earn much, much more. But just think about $1,000 a month, $12,000 extra a year in passive income that's automatically dropped in it. Why wouldn't you focus a little bit of marketing effort in that? Okay, sorry, a little soapbox thing right there. So going back to this, your listing income, your sales income, and that last part, so we got your business, we got your passive income profit share, and we got your referral. So when you come on as a KW agent, you actually have 3 businesses that you can build, 2 of which are passive income profit share, passive income referrals. And the great thing about the technology that we have is that you can find out where there are strategic referral patterns going in and out of your region, so that you can drop campaigns in those areas and be strategic about it. Because when you get a request from that area, you can send it to the team leader there. So you have 3 businesses automatically built into the ecosphere of a KW, being a KW agent. You can't say that with any other company, all right? And the last is leasing, rentals, things like that. Rentals are a good thing to get yourself started with. As you progress into it, unless you create a system down, they can be a little arduous, but they're a great opportunity. So this is what goes into your business, right? Right. So let's talk about expenses. What goes out of your business? Right there. Cost of sale. All right. So it's important to understand the cost of sale of being in business with the market center. All right. In our case, those costs are the company dollar, the royalty, referral fees owed to the market center. Those are cost of sale. Anybody care to just spit out what their market center caps are? I think you'll find that most are generally around the same. Ours is 21,000.
Or put it in the chat.
Yep. What is your market center cap? Samuel, what's your market center cap up there? 18?
I believe it's 20. I don't think it's quite 18. I think it's 20.
Okay. Janet, what's yours? Do you know?
I think it's 27.
Okay.
Cape Cod.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
18.
Yeah, ours is okay. Perfect. So we're all generally around the same. And so it's good to know what those cap numbers are. It's a goal just built in, inherent into the system, to shoot for. Okay. So when you have no transactions, what's the cap? Zero, right? You have no transaction, there's no cap. There's no cost of sale. So there's no cost of sale if you have no transactions. All right. The company dollar cap agents pay is determined by each market center and will vary from market center. However, royalty is capped at $3,000, a rate determined by KWRI. Our cap is 21 here. A market center that is less than 30 miles away has a $43,000 cap. Now, I might say that it's time for that market center to reevaluate that cap, because in a world where we're living in a digital advent, they're making it very easy for an agent to just choose a market center with a cap that's more fiscally responsible. I know that we, as a leadership team, we strive to keep our cap low. We've never raised it. We're actually considering lowering it. We're very financially responsible and fiscally conservative market center, with the goal to protect agent profit share. Does it help profit? Absolutely. But it's really with the goal and intent to protect your profit share. All right. So keep in mind, cost of sales are not only the expenses you'll have in your real estate business, you'll also have operating expenses, the expenses you incur to run your business, and so forth. All right. So let's move on here. There we go. All right. So let's dig into the cost of sales by doing a quick exercise. All right. You can follow along on page 9 of your participant guide. If you got a phone handy or a calculator, you might want to get that out right now. So at the top of the page, you're going to see three formulas. All right. These formulas represent your net commission based on whether or not you've capped on company dollar, royalty, or both. For this example, we're assuming that you are on a 70-30 split with your market center, meaning 30% of your GCI will be paid to the market center in the form of company dollar. Along with that, 6% is calculated based on your GCI if you're not yet capped on royalty. All right. So let's review the three formulas. All right. Whoops. This is not going to fill in here. So the first formula, you've not yet capped on company dollar or royalty. So let's go ahead and use that $10,000 example. And I want people to kind of walk through this. All right, let me find my calculator. All right. Unfortunately, this is not going to fill in, but the formula here is your GCI. So 10,000 is your GCI, right? And so I want you to take on this page, what did I say it was? Page 9. All right. In that first box, you're going to write $10,000. All right. In that second box, you're going to write company dollar. So you're going to take 10,000 and multiply that by 30%, which is $3,000. All right. Now, remember, when we calculate this out, we always go back to that first GCI. Okay. And then the second one, we're going to calculate out what the royalty is. So we're going to multiply 6% times 10,000 and put that number there in that third box. All right. So anybody care to venture out what that last box is going to equate to on your net commission check after company dollar and royalty are taken out on a $10,000 GCI? Gross commission income. Yep.
6,400.
No longer 6,400. Correct. Yep. Remember, you're not earning a paycheck anymore. It's your gross commission income. Yep. And that would be 6,400. Okay. Thank you, Roberto. All right. Now let's take a look at the second scenario. You've already capped on royalty and have not yet capped on company dollar. Now, generally, these get taken out of every transaction and dropped into the respective buckets to reduce that company dollar and royalty fee. And they generally will cap out around the same time, generally. The times that they don't are maybe you've come on at a half cap, or you're working on a team, you're going to cap on company dollar typically before you'll cap on royalty or vice versa. So, but very rarely does it happen, but it happens. So in number 2, you've already capped on royalty and have not yet capped on company dollar. What is the net commission check? So we're going to take that $10,000 GCI, put that in the first box. In the second box, we're going to put the 600. And now what's your net commission check on that one?
9,400.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody confused about those scenarios? Those first 1 and 2, we need to clarify, because this is important that it becomes mental memory. You're figuring out what you're going to be netting. Okay. And again, no question is off the table here. No question is a bad question, right?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Since
Go
you
ahead,
say
Jennifer.
my question is bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the difference between the royalty and company dollar? I'm sorry, I probably missed it.
No, that's okay. Happy to explain it. So our market center is Keller Williams Evolution. Company dollar comes back to the company that you're working at, where you're hanging your license. In Samuel's case, I think we said it was Portsmouth, right? So wherever you're hanging your license, that money comes back to the market center. Because wherever you go, when you get your license, wherever you go, you're going to have to hang it at a brokerage, whether it's Keller Williams, Century 21, Caldwell Bank, or whatever it is. And whatever GCI you bring into that market center from each transaction, you're going to split that with the market center. Typically, conventional brokerages, you'll share that split for the whole length of your career at that brokerage. With KW, we have that cap structure, but that company dollar is what comes back to this market center to pay our bills. And what's left over is profit for that market center. Again, in which point, 52% of that leftover profit each month goes to our owner and 48% sits back in his agent profit share pool. And so that's why it's important for you as agents to actively participate in our profit share by helping introduce other agents to the market center, because you're going to take part in that 48%. That's the revenue we share back with you. So if you're participating in profit share by helping recruit people to the market center, we're going to share that profit with you.
Hey, Tim, real quick, and I know I don't want to get into a huge profit share formula breakdown because it's different in every market center and there's formulas and it's not complicated, but it's just, this isn't the place to wrap our heads around it. But how much profit share to an agent who referred? So what I think you're asking is, you have somebody you referred, they signed up, they mentioned you as a sponsor on their form. How much do you get? Varies.
Yeah, it's not an equal, you can't calculate it out because it's based on a market center's expenses. But if you go ahead and Google, again, we won't get carried away, there is a percentage that you're going to get. It starts at 50 in your first level, 12, 7.5, 7.5, and there's a formula. But to know the exact number, I mean, hypothetically in this situation, if an agent contributed $1,000 to company dollar and they hadn't capped, you're going to get a $500 check if they're in your first line because it's 50-50. But where people really make a lot of money and they don't micromanage what they're getting on it, they're just knowing to continuously fill this pipeline, those people get a lot of money that just gets passively dropped. But it's not a simple calculation. You can say, oh, Jennifer in my downline just closed a transaction and she made a $10,000 sale, because we as a market center have to take our expenses out and what's left over is profit. So, and then, so royalty, Jennifer, to continue to answer your question, is our franchise fee. It goes back to Keller Williams Corporate for everything that they provide to you as a Keller Williams agent. So we're under the umbrella of Keller Williams. We get a tremendous amount of support from KWRI. We are now in a position where our region, supported in efforts by Brook and the team that is within our region, Jennifer Bovey, Nate Dickey, Matt Erdman, Cassie, so many people that I could list off, and I'm missing so many, that they're walking in such lockstep with corporate, but also being outside the box thinking on ways that they could support us on a local level. And then what you get at our market center level. So that royalty fee is what goes back to Keller Williams Corporate. Make sense?
Yes, thank you so much for clarifying.
Absolutely. Anyone else before we move forward? Okay. All right. So what are your ahas from this exercise? Anybody have an aha? No ahas?
I guess for me, it's the reiteration of the capping, right? I think it's once the cap is reached in both accounts, let's say both on commission as well as on royalty, then you basically get to keep everything else, minus of course the cost expenses and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a gentleman that just capped in 44 days. He has 321 days left of 100% income. And he has $4 million plus properties that are going to be closing before his anniversary date resets.
Wow.
He's going to be making out. We brought in a recruit who worked for Century 21. That person's GCI was about 415,000. I ran her numbers on our model system, and just by working at Century 21 and not KW, she left $93,000 on the table. So from a financial perspective, Roberto, that cap structure it walks in lockstep with everything that KW professes. Everything that we do at KW is how can it benefit the agent? Can we give them 100%? Can we share the profit? Can we create a system that will enhance their business where they don't have to expend anymore? What else can we do? Well, if you are a business major or were a business major, you probably remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about you provide employees the basic tenets to put a roof over their head, earn a solid living, put food on their table, give them growth and opportunity and make them feel self-worth. You've got an employee that will be with you forever. Well, that's the ecosphere of what Keller Williams provides. Beyond that, we go into culture. There's so many other aspects of it. So it's such a unique thing, but just on a financial perspective, who wouldn't want to work for KW, right? All right. Any other questions? I want to give everybody the opportunity to have a quick break here. We're going to break for 5 minutes. Go potty, do what you need to do. Go take your dog out. Refresh
More
the cup.
coffee.
More
More
coffee.
coffee.
More coffee. You can turn your cameras off, and then we'll reconvene here in 5 minutes. All right. See you back here in 5. feel like blasting a little White Snake here. Here I go again on my own. Sorry, Samuel. I'm gonna do that to you.
Walking down the only road I've ever known.
Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone.
Can you imagine? This is when the Regent dips in and checks in on us, and they're like, there are no cameras on, nobody is talking.
Right?
Him and Brooke are singing old rock ballads.
She's eating with food all over her face, doesn't even know it.
Usually. Oh yeah, I look at the size of this hummus tub. Look at this. Look at my hands on this thing. I live on hummus.
It looks like yogurt.
It's not. It's delicious garlic hummus from Wegmans. If you don't have a Wegmans near you, I'm sad. Come up to Burlington, Mass. Tell me we'll go on a Wegmans date and I'll show you all my favorite things. I love that grocery store. It's my Zen place.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get moving again. Let's get moving and shaking. Hold on a second. Where were we? Right here. All right.
Yes, that one.
That is it.
That's it. Do it. Do it.
What's going on here? This is not.
Slideshow. Resume slideshow. Do you see it? The
Yeah,
top?
No. No. Why is that?
Resume
No,
meeting
it's. I
monitor.
see it. I see it. My mouse is reacting not in a good way.
Any questions while Tim figures out his computer problem?
Yeah.
Any questions? We did have one that says capped on royalty. Doesn't that mean you don't need to pay royalties anymore, Tim?
Yes. Just for that year, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not indefinite for the rest of your career. It's that year. What else we got for questions?
There we go.
Can I ask the question? I think I asked it previously, but I just want to make it sure that what I'm doing is right or not. So I opened a LLC and I am letting my commission go into my LLC. Is that perfectly legal or that it has to go into my personal account? I sorry I didn't read the Millionaire Real Estate book yet, but I'm planning to read it anyways.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
You can. You just have to. We can't advise you any like tax benefits, but yeah, I have things put right in our DBA or LLC, wherever your business account is.
Yeah.
However you've structured your business, you can absolutely, but then you pay yourself from there.
Right. I understand that. I
Okay.
completely understand.
You just need to
I was
verify
just
with.
asking. I was just
Yeah, you
asking
just-
that. Sorry.
That's
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
I was just going to say, you just need to verify with your market center. Each market center might have different policy and procedure as it relates to paying directly out to an LLC. So Brooke is correct, but just check with your market center.
Does
Right.
KW offer any type of like class or even information on how you would set up an LLC? Because I know it's an insane tax benefit, but it's kind of complicated.
It's super complicated, and there are also state and local laws that you need to know about. So check with your market center to see if they have any financial planners or accountants coming in to talk to you guys in the future. And if not, I'm sure they have someone. But that's when I would reach out to my community and say, hey, who do I talk to about LLCs and getting a business accountant, and see what your community has to say. You may even have someone in your network that does this, that could advise you. But definitely start with your market center leadership. They've got access to tons of different people. They all use their own as well. And then go from there. But this is the perfect example of a social post to reach out to your community and ask for vendor recommendations. Who do you know who's a CPA accountant and deals in LLCs that I need to know? I have some clients asking questions. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Remember, our training really comes from three areas for us as agents. We come from everything that we get at Keller Williams Corporate, mostly found on KW Connect, but it's also some in-person events, like one coming up. What's it? what's that thing called, Brooke? Oh, family reunion, right?
Yes, that's not just us getting together on the beach and drinking margs and talking about our family. It is an intense training. You may see some familiar faces on some stages. Just saying, look for me. I'm everywhere there. And if you can't attend in person, grab a digital ticket because you can watch it for, I think they give you 3 months to view everything and find out what your market center's doing.
Yep, absolutely. But so everything we get at corporate, everything we get from our region, Brooke, and everything you get at a market center. If Ariel, if that's not on your market center class, or you don't see it on a regional and a national, which it probably won't be, but it's more relegated to a market center class, reach out to your team leader and say, hey, do you think that we could get some classes on what's the right example? I know we've had one here. What's the right financial structure? S Corp, LLC, so forth. We just recently had a class in that, and that was rooted in feedback from agents such as yourself.
I have to say that like one of the things that like as being a realtor that like really surprises me is this like put your foot in the door thing. Like don't let put yourself out there is just such a like shocking concept to me. Like every time I ask one of these questions, I think the answer is going to be something so structured and you're like, ask, like tell them you need this, like
Absolutely.
go out and get it.
That's the other thing, like, you know, we structure classes and bring people in who we think are going to matter. But when the agents tell us, hey, we need someone to talk to us locally about LLCs, about how to, you know, how much should we be putting away, different types of accounts, where can I put like, these are the things your market centers want to know. This is the feedback to get to your education committee, ALC, leadership. We love these things because you live it every day. I just bring in people or different classes based on the questions you guys ask me or the tickets that go into the system. Every time you guys enter a ticket, I know what's going on in our region and I know, okay, do we have an actual bug or do we have a training opportunity, an education opportunity? So your feedback is super important. And if your leadership, you're not sure who to go to, reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with the right people at your market center. Just send me an email.
Yeah, I'm so glad I chose Keller Williams.
I'm so glad you did too.
All right. Well, any questions as we progress, feel free to come off mute and also utilize the chat function. The activities that we're about to complete will help you guys determine how you'll achieve your profit goal. You know, we're going to be working backwards from profit to determine your activities and your budget. For this activity, you'll want to get out a calculator again. Hopefully it's still handy, right? Or use your app, and we'll run through an example on the activity together. And then you'll have 5 minutes to go through it on your own or in pairs if you'd like to partner up, but you'll be able to go through it on your own. Okay. Dang it, what's going on here? All right. So let's look at this. So turn to page 10 on your participant guide and follow along to complete the activity, which will give you an outline of your annual business plan built off your profit goal. All right. So I want you to take a second to write down, and I'll give you a second to write down your goal. Hopefully you've all strategized, structured maybe a 1-3-5 or a GPS, which is goals, priorities, and strategies. It's a tool that we have built into KW to help you achieve your goals. But most people start with that profit goal, and here we can always use a specific number of 100,000. We always just keep that kind of simple. So write down your annual net profit goal on the top of your piece of paper. For example, the net cash I want to have in my bank account at the end of the year is $100,000. All right. So now calculate the gross profit goal you need to make to account for the tax liability on your net profit goal. And again, we recommend anticipating about a 40% tax liability. So to calculate the gross profit goal, we need to divide our net profit goal by 60%. All right. Everybody follow me on that? All right. Now we're going to calculate the gross commission income you need to attain your gross profit goal. And the formula to calculate your GCI, your gross commission income, is to take your gross profit goal and divide by 40 or 0.40. Okay. This is your gross profit. Anybody know why we calculate GCI by dividing gross profit by 40%? Built into the MREA, right? So the Millionaire Real Estate Investor Budget Model suggests that if we stick to an operating expense and budget that's equal to 30% or lower of our GCI with an anticipated cost of sale of 30 GCI, we can expect a 40% profit like we talked about on the previous page. Okay. Now we want to calculate the number of homes, because you see what we're doing is we're working our way backwards. We're taking our goal, we're figuring out how much we need to earn to incorporate those expenses, and then how many homes we ultimately need to sell, so you can talk about setting a goal for units. So to calculate the number of homes you must sell to achieve your GCI, the formula is to divide your GCI by the average commission income. You know, obviously your sale price multiplied by your average commission. So in this example, we're using $7,500, $7,500 as an average commission, which brings us to 56 homes, right? So now we're going to calculate your anticipated cost of sale. Your cost of sale is actually calculated by as your royalty cap added to your company dollar, which would total around $23,000. So for us in our market center, it's 21 and 3, so it's 24. So that's your cost of sale. So that's your 20 anticipated cost of sale, right? And then we're going to calculate our operating budget. So the MREA budget model recommends we reserve 30% of our GCI to cover operating expenses. Therefore, our annual operating expense budget would also be $312,500 with a GCI of $1,041,666,000, right? Sorry.
And real quick, Tim, those are the number of homes you have to sell, right? That's the unit amount. So you have to buy, these are the units.
Yep.
How many homes? That was a question we got the last time we ran this one. And I just want to make sure everybody's clear. That's because they're like, well, what's 56? 56 is the amount of homes you need to sell. And if you want to know the lead conversion calculator from the MRE and what it looks like, you can play on my website with it. So if 56 is your goal, because everybody wants to profit 1,000, that's like everybody comes in and when we sit with them and they're always like, I want to make 100K my first year. You can go, right? You can go play with the calculator and see how many contacts you need to have in your database and how many people you need to add daily.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, again, and we talk about working backwards. We talk about being able to kind of see the trees through the forest. This gives you an opportunity to really put into perspective that if you've earned $100,000 GCI, you're not actually earning that to put in your pocket. So if your goal is to actually pocket 100,000 GCI, this gives you the formula to be able to know what to shoot for. And then it breaks it down even further into the amount of homes that you have to sell, buy side or list side, in order to achieve that goal. So you know on a monthly basis whether you're on target with the units. And then it becomes, well, what are you doing to feed that Wonka machine that we talked about? Add more ingredients to that Wonka machine so that more opportunities are coming out the bottom of that in the form of golden wrap candy bar leads, right? So what ahas do you see or did you have from kind of looking at this? How do you feel about it?
Is it less scary when we talk about it? Like, is it less intimidating? Mitsa?
Is it when you look at that gross commission income in order to get that $100,000. Anybody get a little nervous when they think about that? Nobody's, I don't want to speak for anybody. I'll speak for myself. But when I looked at this formula and I thought, I have to make $400,000. That's my gross commission income, right? These numbers are incredibly achievable in real estate. If you're systematic, you follow models. We have agents that do this that don't even have systems and models, right? Imagine if you follow these tried and true proven models.
I needed that. I needed that little agents that don't have system and models.
Yep. It's true. I mean, it's so true.
It's true, but remember this too, though, that is not scalable or sustainable over time.
Yep.
And that's why we want to teach you this. And you're going to come to us and it's okay. At some point, you're going to come and need that painkiller, that Tylenol, because you're in a pain point with what's going on in your financial world and your business, and that's okay. But we are going to point you back to getting to these places and going back to the models, because those top agents cannot scale their business until they get granular again around the models and systems.
Should have spun it more positively. I mean, in the sense that as we are learning and building, I can still achieve things. I don't need to, it doesn't need to be a zero, like zero income and then like all at once. Like I can still make accomplishments while putting systems into place and having no idea
Absolutely.
where I'm going.
Absolutely. Because you got to feel it too. Like this Ignite, you may want to retake this part of Ignite the next time it comes out, or in 3 months, just because, and the same thing with the MREA, every time I read it, something else sticks in this nerd brain of mine that I didn't hear before because I wasn't ready to hear it. Didn't make sense to the business yet.
Yeah, I've heard so many educators so far talk about how often they've gone back and taken the classes. And like in my educational career thus far, that hasn't ever been like necessary for me. I'm a very bright person and I can completely see why people take these classes over and over again. Like it's a lot of information and there's a lot of different clicks that you're trying to make work and a lot of different gears that are going. So I've already, even when I pay attention the entire time, I'm like, there's so much more information that was in there than I actually got. I need to see that again.
Yeah, no, and it's so true. And that's why we do things like business planning clinic every year. It's why we redo Bold. It's why we do these over and over. It's because business is going to change, shifts are going to happen. The models stay the same, but when you need to hear it is always going to be different.
Thank you.
No problem. We have a question. I can see a hand.
Pankaj.
Yeah. So here's the question. I think I love this math. It's great. It's making perfect sense. But if we have the LLC versus you're working for yourself, the tax percent, do you still think that that we need these numbers, or because we can manage our expenses through the LLC, it can drastically improve the numbers over here? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna suggest a couple of things. One is that we're providing you kind of a framework. Your best bet is to really talk with a CPA to understand the tax liability and implication of each financial structure, whether it's an independent, S Corp, LLC. I mean, clearly each of those have their own strategic benefits. So I can't answer that question as an entirety.
Right.
It's really a question, but yeah, but certainly, I mean, if you're going to delve further and you really, there's a reason why you're choosing to be an LLC. One is that it's easier to manage the money and there's a benefit tax wise to doing so, right? Those are the two reasons you'd ultimately be doing it. Yeah, that's a great question.
And real quick, just remember, these systems and models are in place because they've been proven to work in the past. They're guidelines. So if your business needs to run a little different, but just remember, don't reinvent the wheel on this stuff in the beginning. Just if you were to give that chart of accounts to your accountant, they would be tickled pink. They would be so happy because a lot of them may not be real estate specific or Keller Williams specific. So they don't actually understand how the real estate model works. They understand taxes and how to benefit you. So share these things with them so they know as well.
Yeah, I agree. We should search for the CPA who understand the real estate business so that he can help us much better.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right. How many people, just out of curiosity, are on target to meet their goal? All right.
Put it in the chat or thumbs up. I only have a few videos on, so I can't see you. Yes, no, I don't know is an acceptable answer. LOL is an acceptable answer.
LOL is an acceptable answer. All right.
Hey, they're answering. That's an acceptable answer, Tim. Come on.
Yeah. All right. So you know where you want to go right now. So let's talk about how to get there. So in your participant guide on page 11, you'll see a short checklist of best practices. This list is not exhaustive by any means, but it's a great way to put yourself on a path that will ensure your financial well-being. No doubt about that. So you may be able to check off the first item on the list, given your experience in Spark goal setting and in today's short goal setting exercise. What I do want you to do, and we are going to do, is to go through the list and briefly talk about the importance of each of them right now. All right. So we want to talk about gain clarity on your big life hopes and dreams, right? And I want you to create a column and I want you to write down who you know in that field or area of expertise that may be able to help you achieve that best practice, right? So we want you to create a list of who, and a lot of these are potentially going to be your fellow agents. But if it's, you know, to Pankaj's point, maybe it's a CPA, maybe it's a CPA. And I will tell you as an agent, I'm a team leader now, so I'm in a non-compete position. And if anybody doesn't write this down or automatically go out, you're missing a great opportunity. My business to business sphere was the largest return on investment for anything that I invested into my business regarding lead gen. It accomplished so much more than lead gen. I got actively involved in BNI. If you have a BNI gathering in your area, look into it. It's Business Networking International. Those leads that I get from my business network are teed up leads because those are small business minded professionals who know how to say, hey, Roberto, this is Tim over at KC Law. I got a lead for you. These people are already ready to go. I want to introduce you to them. It's teed up. It's ready to go. All right. So create a column under that. You can write down who you know in that field or for area of expertise. And I want you to write down the name of it. And in that case, it could be a CPA. All right. All right. And what better way can you think of to lead generate and also find valuable resources for your financial best practices than calling on your sphere, your trusted friends, your family, and asking them who they'd recommend. What a great opportunity to remind them that you're in real estate as well, and ask for a referral. So of these, gain clarity on your big life hopes and dreams. Now, any idea who this could be in your current world at KW? Any thoughts? A lot of resources here. Your team leader, maybe a person in your market center who has been there for a while and who's, you know, got some real life experiences. There's a lot of, we have coaching built into our ecosphere here, not only at a market center level, but then also on maps. So, you know, Tiger Woods, I'm a golfer. I mean, I play a lot of things, but golf is one of my favorite sports.
So that makes you a golfer? Like, I'm a golfer too. I can swear, drive a cart, and drink with the best of them, but I'm not a golfer.
Yeah, no, I'm a golfer. I almost made a career out of it.
No way.
Almost.
Remind me never to team up with you because I will be embarrassed.
That's exactly who you want to team up with.
No, wait, last place is always the best awards at tournaments.
This is true. But, you know, I want to see Tiger Woods just continue to destroy. But even at the height of his career, he had 5 coaches. So being the best in the world, he still had 5 coaches. So the need for accountability is inherent in success. And so we and KW have that built into what we have here available to you. Set your personal and business goals. This is done through accountability, through your 135 and the 411. If you're not writing those 2 things down, if you don't understand what they are, find out what they are. You can search for them in KW Connect. That's our online resource there. Set up your business entity, right? Pankaj? Set up your business entity, find out.
Yeah, I already have the LLC to start with. Now I want to use it effectively.
Yep. Perfect. So open up additional bank accounts, right? Open up additional bank accounts for taxes, expenses, and other savings. This is key. And I might suggest if you're going to find an hour a week to focus on profit share, I might also make sure that that profit share account goes into its own bank account. Just a suggestion. Download and use the MREA chart of accounts, which Brooke shared for you in the chat section. I'm gonna nix this one. Purchase and download tax accounting software. Yeah, you can. More so, get yourself a CPA, right?
Yep, I agree. Talk to the CPA first, because sometimes they have licenses of QuickBooks or or something they want you to use. Don't spend money on this in the beginning, because you can also just do it on that spreadsheet I gave you.
Yep, absolutely. Hire the CPA. Set dates to calculate and pay your estimated taxes. Can't emphasize enough, pay your quarterly taxes and prepare for your future insurance, savings, investment, and the like. All right. Yeah, I was going to share something about a CPA, but they're also a great guide, and it's a safety net too. They are a safety net. Sorry, bear with me here. All right. So now that we've covered the financial basics, let's gather some ahas and create our success lists for this module. All right. So I want to open this up to some discussion here. How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new to you? Anybody care to share some of that that they've learned in this section here? Good, bad, it's all good. Yeah. Does it make you think a little bit more differently about running a business or being self-employed?
Yes, I actually have to say that thank you for providing clarity to this whirlwind, this like tsunami hurricane that was happening in my head about starting my own business. So this gives absolutely a blueprint for what to do. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. No, thank you for bringing that up. And thank you, Amanda. It's very, I mean, and look, some of you may go down this path and it's okay. Because many of us have gone down this path where we get into the stresses, the system that life has for all of us. We all have outside of this a whirlwind going on. You know, this isn't about me, but my example is maybe applicable to you. I have 2 kids, one in high school, one going into 8th grade. They both play sports. I don't have any time to breathe. I coach their damn sports. I coach hockey. You know, I play in a band. I've got my marriage. I've got, you know, other obligations. We all have these things. And sometimes when we're trying to get ourselves in real estate, we get that first check and we're like, all right, let me move on to the next while trying to balance this all out. I say to each of you, take a step back, slow down, realize that it's all achievable. Don't work in a world of panic. And if you do find yourself working in a world of panic, take a step back. It's okay to reassess. If you're the type that beats yourself up, don't beat yourself up. It's happened to the best of us. Know that you're in control of being able to change this around and being able to go ahead and reverse any potential bad habits. And let me be realistic too. If you're using half of the tools that we're providing you today, and through Ignite, you're going to be successful. The goal is for you to be as well-rounded, because there are many agents out there that don't even come close to scratching the surface of what we're providing you here. So leverage what you're given. Yeah. How do you feel differently? What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful? I mean, I think this might have been just expressed through Amanda's point. Do you feel more confident that the road that lies ahead? Or do you feel more nervous?
Or both.
Or both, right? Both. I see. I can read lips, Amanda. Yes, both. She said Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Too many years of playing drums.
Yeah, no, it's true. And, you know, like I said in the beginning, we want to talk about these things. Sometimes the financial piece is scary because we've never had to think about this before. We just got a paycheck, or things just showed up the way they were supposed to. Maybe you've never had to manage money for your business like this. Small changes, good habits, setting yourself up to make sure that when you need help, you know where to go to as well. There's so many people at the Market Center who are huge about this, financial freedom and personal wealth and being able to invest in the future. And some of these things for some of us coming new into it, who don't have any money because now we haven't sold a house, we quit our jobs. It sometimes can make you feel out of control, but financial freedom is around the corner if you follow the models, the systems, and really account for those different things. So use the tools, use us. Now on previous, because I think we're getting near the end of what's in elementals. At the last classes, did anyone go over where to put these goals in command with you guys? Because there's actually a way to track it through every opportunity and transaction. Did you know that? You did not know. So did anybody go over those in previous sessions? It's okay if they didn't. I can't see any of your faces. Do you want to see real quick? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, let me stop sharing, Brooke. I'll give it over to you. And then I do want to come back and talk about the 10-4. So yeah, go ahead, show them.
All right, guys, can everybody see my command? Tim, you see?
I do, yep, we are good.
All right, so now it is a training command. You may see things that don't exist on yours. I just deleted goals so you guys can see this. So if you don't know where you are, remember you can click that red KW. It expands out and it tells you the word. So you're not like, which one of these is reports or designs? So over on the right-hand side, towards the middle, depending on your screen, you're gonna see goals. Now these are goals versus actuals, okay? Up at the top right, you can see 2022 goals, and then there's a little plus button where you can click and do goal settings. Does everybody see that? All right, and then you get started. So, what is your annual profit goal? Okay. It automatically puts the expenses as cost of sales in for you. If you know this from doing this previously, plop them in. What does your business makeup look like, right? From the MREA model, we can figure these things out. Usually it's just easier in the beginning to put 50-50 for buyers and sellers. And then average commission per unit. This is going to be different in every market, depending on the average home sale price in your area. It's different everywhere. What it is in Lowell, Mass is different than what it is in Newport, Rhode Island, right? So then you go on from there. And then conversion rates, 5% need to be leads, contacts. Just read all these things and it automatically puts them in for you based on the MREA. You're not putting these things in. Save and continue. So now it does all the breakdowns for you based on I wanted to make $1 million. I wanted to have $1 million in GCI. I want to be an MREA agent. So now how do you get it to talk? This is the biggest piece because people always say to me, Brookie, it's not, my goals aren't updating. I don't see any movement, and it's because we've got to use opportunities correctly. All right, so when we're in opportunities, there's a couple of pieces of information you need to put in for this to start tracking those goals. All fake. This is all fake. SpongeBob is not real. Okay.
Wait, you don't have clients name that?
Nope. But I have sold my parents' house about 5,000 times that I grew up in. All right. So we are in a transaction. We're in an opportunity. There's this little pencil at the top. When I hover over it, it turns dark and it becomes clickable. All right. These dates run the world. And these, okay? So estimated close date, pick a date. You can move that. The day you scheduled the appointment with the potential buyer or seller. Okay, so that is the day you called them or met with them and said, let's meet to talk about selling your home or getting you into a home. The date of the actual appointment, the day you got them to sign, the day they said, yep, we're going to go with you to sell our house. And then contract date is the date they signed to buy something or signed on a seller. So a seller says, yep, we're going to choose this. So that's the date of the actual P&S. All those things run reports. Estimated list price, if you're on that side, everything, all these little pieces run reports. And it also starts to give you more information on your business. It also is going to start giving you things like estimated income, probable and potential income. Now it doesn't know if you're in coaching. It doesn't know if you're on a team. So these are based on the MREA numbers. But using opportunities and setting goals, now when you come in the morning, you can even set up your dashboard to show you goals. You can say, goals, I want to see those first, so that every day when I come in, I can see where I am in relation to my goals. And also doing things like activities, right? So when you're in a contact, you have a phone call with them, you mark call, you mark text, you mark email, appointment, meeting, whatever it is you're doing for an activity, those things all will lead into these reports and tell you how you're doing. Any questions on that? Profit tracker, whee!
So built into this system that we've built, we've spent over, as Keller Williams, over $4 billion trying to build, over $1 billion to build this over the last 4 years, that is rooted again in the core of you being able to control everything about your business, not be beholden to third-party applications or software or vendors who could ultimately consume your data. And within this world, they're always constantly refining it. You know, Brook has been very integral in being a spokesperson, but also a lab participant on so many fronts. Because when we say it's built by agent for agents, we mean that. I mean, we're better to get the information to readjust how a system goes and needs to be worked on or enhanced than from the agents who are using it on a daily basis. And built into this is a system that allows you to float your idea into a channel that is actively being watched, so that the more of those like responses come in, that idea, suggestion, or change or correction will ultimately get implemented. But all of the things we just talked about, you don't even have to remember if you don't want to. It's built into what Brook just showed you.
Right, it does it. You pull what you want to bring home and it does all the work for you.
Right.
It's that simple.
But you want to remember it, because wouldn't that be the thing to do as a smart business owner? Understand exactly, you know, that's what we're teaching you. We're teaching you how to be a smart business owner. Hey, look, worst case scenario out of this, you know, you unfortunately, maybe KW is not the right place for you. Real estate in general, we taught you how to run and be a business owner. Best case scenario, we taught you how to run your own business and you take it to the stratosphere, supported by KW, right? All right.
Yes. And guys, if there's ever something and you're not sure if it does it or not, check with your market center tech trainer first. If they're not available or you don't have one, reach out to me at any of the places I've given you to ask your question, email, wherever. Because I didn't get to name Salty McSilva with KW, and that is how you can get a hold of me as well, salty@kw.com. Everything I do is to make sure it benefits our agents and is through the MREA model. If they try to do something that is counterintuitive to how agents actually work per the MREA, I get real salty real quick. Real salty. I am protecting your business every corner. I think of myself as like a congressperson. Like I'm your representative. I go there and I just beat the hell out of them on things that I don't think make sense or that actively need to be pushed into command for you guys to make your lives easier. So if there's ever anything you want, or you put an idea and you think it needs some loud voices on it, get it to me. Get me the link to your idea so I can post it, or idea. I'm sorry, we're in New England. Let me use it that way. So any ideas you have, I can push those out for you. That's part of my role, is to be the voice of the agents of New England. And I'm salty. I get real salty.
Salty McSilva.
Salty McSilva. I get real salty real fast when they try to do things that are outside the MREA or how agents work.
So look here, I want to give you an example of an agent in our office. And very much like I described myself, his children, he's got two of them, they're a little bit younger. Comes into the office every single day, 8:30, 9 o'clock. This gentleman is out the door by 12:30 consistently, and his business is already settled for the day. On average, 250 to 300 GCI a year he's earning. And he's focusing on key core activities. And Roberto had kind of talked about this in the beginning. And we boil all of this down, all right? So we start with that 1-3-5, set your goals, utilize the 4-1-1 so that your daily activities, but we really stress about a 10-4, all right? So you're not focusing on the 80% activities that are only going to generate you 20% of your wealth. We talk about the 80-20 rule. If you haven't heard about it, look it up. It's called Pareto's principle. But here at KW, focus on the 20% activities that are going to generate you 80% of your revenue. Don't focus on the 80% activities that are only going to generate you 20% of your revenue. So what does it look like? Well, it looks like filling up that Wonka machine and nurturing that Wonka machine. And it means leveraging off all of those 80% activities to other things. So at our market center, we have a simplifier division, which is our agent services. If I was producing again and I was an active agent, my only focus would be to go out, nurture my current clients to a successful purchase or close, or purchase or sale, bring that contract paperwork in, hand it off to Simplifier so they can do the contract to close paperwork. And my efforts are better suited focusing on my 20%, nurturing more leads and closing more deals. What does it look like? It looks like, don't spend time putting in signs. Have a sign service do it. Don't spend time, any of the activities that we have here. Focus on your key core 20%. Well, what does that look like? All right. If you do these 4 things, this gentleman does these 4 things every day, and he's gotten it down to mental memory so that it's automatic every single day, and you're only going to be able to build on it. Okay. Where are you, Roberto? You there? Did he have to take off? All right.
Right here.
All right. You want to go through them with me?
Go
Remember
for
them?
it.
All right. So add 10 contacts to your database every day, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Pick an interval and stick with it. Okay. Be consistent. If you can't do it every day, do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Put it in your schedule and do it, and call it 10-4 time. Okay. Add 10 contacts a day. All right. Have 10 conversations with your database every day. Hey, Roberto, this is Tim Shea over at Keller Williams. Just checking in on you, seeing how everybody's doing. Everybody's surviving the pandemic. Great. That's good. Hey, just keep in mind, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, just keep me in mind. Take care. Wellness check. You don't have to sit there with in-depth scripts and be, okay. So add 10 people, call 10 people, write 10 people, literally write 10 cards. Hey, Amanda, Tim Shea here. Just wanted to wish you a great 2022. You know anybody looking to buy or sell? Here's my business card. Stuff it in the mail and throw it off. Okay. You'll be able to bust through your database pretty quick. And then preview 10 homes. Now in this pandemic market, what does that look like? Well, probably more so maybe some drive-bys of new listings, but then researching everything on MLS that's in your local marketplace. So the 10-4, do these things every day. You're going to have a successful business. Add 10 contacts to your database, call 10 people in your database, write 10 people, and research 10 properties. And that gentleman works 8:30 to 12 every day and earns approximately 250,000 GCI. It's crazy, right? We get too complicated in our world and in our head that this has to be more complicated than it is. We're doing the heavy lifting here for you. We're showing you what those proven models and systems will do. We know that each of you can do it. Right, Brooke?
Some of them. No, you all can. I'm just saying that you paid attention.
See why she's salty? See why she's salty?
So salty. So salty. No, you
Yeah.
can. And guys, like I said it before, PCs are going to say at your team, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Our business is simple and it's fun. It's making relationships. That we have a really cool product that ends up in people's hands or leaves their hands at the end of the day is it's just a perk, right? It doesn't matter what the widget is. Good business is good business. Good sales models are good sales models. Tap into them. Be creative within the models. Don't recreate the models.
Yep. Anybody have any questions before we depart here? Give you time to focus on some of the material that we've shared.
Go put your goals into command.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we just talked about it right now. Brooke is going to come hunt you down if you don't have them in your command.
I can see it. I can see if you don't. No, I'm just kidding. I can't. I'll just look. Like, I'll just ask you, but I can't. I don't have that much power.
What do you think you're dealing with your little kid here? This is what I do with my kids. I know what you're looking at online. I have no idea.
Oh, actually, I do have that at my house.
No,
I
I
have
do,
a
I do.
firewall. I have a firewall set up. I know everything that goes through this house with teenage boys.
I'm joking. Of course I do. Any questions before we depart? Look. Oh, look at that puppy face.
Listen, there's a few things in life you can bribe me with. Chocolate and dogs are it. Like, if you bring your dog to the market center when I'm there, I'm the happiest person on the planet, as long as they're nice and they don't bite me.
Awesome.
I'll bite back.
Thank you guys. Look, it's within all of you. We are confident that you can do this. We're here to support you. You've had the ability to hear from many different perspectives, all of which bring valuable insight. And don't underestimate what you're bringing to the table here too, because you are the root of what you've got. We know you can do it. Stay strong, stay confident, and we're here to lean on.
All right, we got one more week. One more session left. That's it, and then you've done it.
Is what kind is that, Danielle?
Did you guys know the trick to unmute yourself for a moment is to hold the space bar down?
Now you're going to cover that for us. Thank you.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
Go up to my tech classes and you'll hear these things. Just saying.
He's a Cavapoo, half King Charles and half Poodle.
Okay. All right.
King Charles is
Right.
going to be my
King
next doggo.
Charles.
They're the sweetest, softest. Oh, I love them. I follow like 20 different ones on Instagram. I just want one so bad.
All right, listen, have a great rest of the week. I don't know about where all of you are located, but we're getting 2 feet of snow up in our area. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be
Tim and I are
crazy.
getting ready for a blizzard. Milk and bread. Get your milk and bread.
I gotta go get the milk.
Go get the milk and bread.
I gotta go to the store. I'll see you all later.
Can't have my milk sandwiches without my milk and bread.
Yeah, I make French toast without power, right? That's the only thing I can think of. All right, be great, guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.